praise to the Most High, in the name of the Son, name of the Holy Spirit, and Allah Subhanahu broken down by the true elders and apostles, according to Isaiah 30 and 20, here in these last days. Call Allah Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakavadash. Honor to the Most High, honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone, your family and friends, bless you on down. Break it down, man. So Yahweh, called halal, means all praise. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father of the world and calls God. By Hashem in the name, Yahweh Shai is only begotten Son of the world and calls Jesus. By Hashem in the name, God Kodash, Holy Spirit. Brakatah means bless you. One is truly or to be true. So this mark right here is according to 2 Timothy 2 verse 8. Okay. Second Timothy 4 verse 8, excuse me. I got this book right here. This book right here is according to 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. They painted the likeness of their images. This goes back to the Renaissance era. The Renaissance era lasted between the 14th and 12th and 16th century. That's how we got these images today. This is historical proof. There's a lot of proof in this. Like this is a Paleo Hebrew right here, the language I was just speaking in. That's this language right here. According to 1 Corinthians 14 and 14, we just keep our words few, comprehending much, because I'd rather, like Paul said, I'd rather speak 5 words of my own understanding than 1,000 words of an unknown tongue, you know? So basically, this is an unknown. People think they know who that is, but they really don't know who that is, right? Right here is a proof, okay? Just going to start at the top. Concerning the life of Yahweh Shai, that's his real name, okay? When you break down that language, okay? Where's it at? When you break down that language, though, Hebrew, you understand why he said, I come in the name of my Father, John 5:43. So, basically, we know that the Messiah was a firstborn, so how could he be born in the dead middle of winter, you know? And they tell you right here that even in the Bible, the birthdays are a Wiccan pagan tradition, all right? Because John the Baptist, they had John the Baptist put the death on the birthday of a king, okay? He fulfilled his daughter had a birthday, and the king granted her whatever, all right? And they beheaded John on the birthday, so one of the prophets, okay, John the Revelator, So I'm going to read this concerning the life of Yahweh Shai. The letter J was inserted in the 1500s. We know that the great critical facts, but we cannot be sure of specific dates. We celebrate his birthday on December 25th. That's Christmas, right? But really, we know here in Babylon, they worship Nimrod. That's who they're actually celebrating, right? But observation of the event and the time set for it apparently began in the church only in the 4th century. No specific record of the date of the Messiah, the Son of God. You know, his true name is Yahweh Shai. You look in the book of Joshua, our elders teach us, you know, throughout the scriptures, there's undeniable proofs that his name has been changed over history. It's been forgotten. You know, the way of truth has been lost. Okay, that's why, you know, we don't agree with pastors and priests molesting children, and they say we got to pray unto the same God as them. They're worshiping the God of the dead. According to Jeremiah 23 and 27, Revelations 13, they're worshiping the image of the beast. All right. Go to Romans, book of Romans, first Romans. They serve the flesh and not the spirit. And Philippians 3 and 19, their God is their belly. They do it all about the money. You know. So no specific record of the date of the Son of God, Son of Man, Yahweh Shai's birth have been handed down. This is a big red flag right here. This book right here by Bernard R. Youngman, edited by Walter Russell Bowie. Narrative history. Let's see when this came out. All right. So basically, we went through slavery for following these doctrines. And this book is from the late 1950s. Right. Out of New York, and that's where our elders are. Our elders, they're out there on the highways and byways, you know. And now we're on the highways and byways through the internet, you know, surfing the internet. You know, no specific record of the date of Yahweh Shai's birth had been handed down. People are telling you right here. So who's being worshipped on these holidays that they are putting upon the masses? Just did some research. The goddess Ōstara is being worshipped. There's so many gods and goddesses being worshipped on these dates. People don't even know if they're worshiping the devil. Okay, and that's how our God looks upon it. Worship no other gods. You know, it's one of the great 10 Commandments. It spoke of in Exodus. No specific record of the date of Yahweh Shai's birth, who they even call Jesus. They changed his name. We don't agree with, you know, if the Messiah came back and he saw like, y'all are molesting children, but y'all have the audacity to put my name up on that. So when the Messiah comes back and he's telling them about themselves, they're gonna try to kill him. You know, no, the Messiah wasn't preaching Christianity. He wasn't preaching Islam, Buddhism, Hindu, Islam, none of that. He was warning people, save yourselves from this on-tour generation. No specific record of the date of Yahweh Shai's birth had been handed down. Inferences were drawn. Inferences were drawn from this or the reference, or that the reference in Gospels to the comparative time of the birth of John the Baptist, but perhaps the strongest influence in the acceptance of December 25th was the fact that in the Roman world, there had long been celebrated at the time of the festival of the birthday of the unconquered sun, the joyful marking of the winter solstice, the emergence of the world from darkness and the beginning of the period of lengthened days. So with instinctive spiritual appropriateness, the church made that festival at the time at which to commemorate the coming of him who was to be the light of the world. And as it cannot be said chronologically that it was on December 25th that Yahushua, the Son of God, the Messiah, was born, so neither can we say certainly that our calendar is right in reckoning the beginning of to be a Christian is to be a follower. A real Christian is going to pull out of the madness that's going on. You know, we got to understand that this was a religion set up by the Roman Catholics. You know, the Roman world. Good. The year which, because of Hamashiach, the Son of God's coming, we don't even like calling him this because these words are made up over time and over history, which because of Hamashiach, the Messiah's coming, is marked for all subsequent time as AD. If the Son of God, Yahushua, was born before the death of Herod, then he was born no later than what has been reckoned as 4 BC. So, I mean, I really just wanted to point this out. No specific record of the date of the Son of God, Yahushua's birth had been handed down. You know, no record. I'm telling you right here, no record. So they don't know when he was resurrected. Him being a firstborn, this is confusion, because that's not the first day of the month. And we know that he was the firstborn of it among the dead. You know, there's scriptures all about it. And then slave labor. This is what they're doing, and they're trying to keep everybody a slave. Like, if the Messiah was here, people would have to have that faith on them. You know, realizing all these images and stuff that they have in these churches. These churches are Hellenistic forms of worship. Okay, because the Greeks had the statues and of Zeus and Hercules and all that. Well, you got to know that Zeus is really Yahweh, and his son Hercules is really the Messiah. But they wanted to worship the gods of false gods, you know. You gotta look up this place. This is having come from Idumea. This is where the pharaohs that chased Moses and afflicted the people of God with slave labor. Alright? We're still out here. Our descendants, we're still out here. You know, the descendants of David. You know, some wanted a new Judas Maccabeus or a David, a Messiah, who would rid them of the yoke of Rome and make them the chosen nation they had been led to believe they would one day be. They longed to be a prosperous nation and a peaceful land. Others looked for the sudden appearance from heaven of the Son of Man. Matthew 24 and 27, their Messiah would establish the nation magically and peacefully. So we're trying to tell people this ain't for everybody. Not everybody's going to drop a like. Not everybody's going to drop a subscription. Not everybody's going to help the Messiah when he's down. But this language right here, the Roman evil, goes back to the book of Obadiah. All right. The Dead Sea Scrolls is the language that the Bible was translated from. So we were able to speak and write what we see today. Came from one language, which Genesis 11:1 speaks of. All right. So I want to keep this few comprehending much. The Dead Sea Scrolls right here. Let's see if we can find the Most High's name on here. So when the Messiah was given his name, he was given his name from an angel. Okay. Gotta understand everything that hath already been named, spoke of in the scriptures. So let's see. Not supposed to go live in here, but it also tells you about in this book it tells you about how the 12 zodiac signs are actually Babylonian gods. It's important to learn this Phoenician language, because this is the Hebrew language. The Moabite stone, the Back Creek stone. Just the 12 tribes are waking up. This language was found in China, and it's very important that people understand the names of the Messiah and his father, Yahweh. Some people would say that a prophet was a foreteller. I had a dream of the pandemic in 2017 before people started dropping like flies, and people was treating me like I'm crazy. Because I've had these terrifying dreams, and it says, through terrible things, doest thou answer us. It would be truer to say that he was a foreteller. He saw events as they were and told the truth about them. Although often humble and uneducated, he spoke for God with a strange understanding of events that urged him to proclaim what would certainly happen to the people if they did not give up their wrong ways of living and return to, we know his name is Yahweh. Psalm 68, we know that this is a Yiddish name. This is a Jewish name right here. So we know there's no vowels in the Paleo-Hebrew. As God's spokesman, he denounced their wickedness as being the opposite of what God wanted. It did not matter how correct they were in their forms of worship, because you gotta understand they were following the ways of their forefathers. How elaborate were their rituals and gifts? What was needed is kindness and justice to all men and absolute obedience to him. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, God's spiritual laws, cannot be ignored or broken. And if necessary, to teach them this lesson, Yahweh, not Yahweh, would go so far as to allow the destruction of the whole nation, although he would save a handful of loyal servants to begin the rebuilding of New Israel. In other words, if Israel would not listen, she was doomed. If people can't drop a like, can't drop a follow, yeah, it's people gotta understand what time we're in right now. We're entering New Jerusalem right now. All right. This is spoke of in all throughout the scriptures. You don't got to go overseas and back to Jerusalem, because Revelations 21 and 2, Revelations 21 and 22, and the house of David is scattered amongst all the world right now. Only a few is going to return. Right? So there's scriptures about it. And just keep our words few, comprehending much, because we're in that time right now. We're in that time. Show you. Just try to pull up some of the Paleo Hebrew they have in this book. So, if you ever seen that movie, The Fourth Kind, Sumerian language, basically, this name right here is part of the Messiah's name. And a lot of churches aren't telling people, but you gotta know his name. Okay. The letter J was inserted in the 1500s.